Hi, I'm Ryan for Ryan's Guitar Stuff, and today's video is a bit of a different one. Um, I usually do this every year, and it's usually one of the last videos to go out. Is it this year's last? Nope. Today, this is going to be second last video of this year. Um, so what I usually do, and this is multi-sided by the way, because I got bored today and decided to make some. And by today I mean Thursday. This is going out tomorrow. So today's video is going to be a quick little like sum up of gear I still use, gear I still have from the past year, reviewing stuff on the channel, stuff I've bought myself and have reviewed, and stuff I've kept, and stuff that I would either recommend people if they can get to keep, or stuff that I've kept out of reasons to swap or trade in the future. So for example, I'll start with the guitar that's actually closest to me, which is my Suzuki. Now, whoops. So this is probably one, if not the most recent guitar I have in the collection I have. It's a lovely guitar. It's based on the Gibson Dove or Hummingbird, whichever. I believe it's the Dove. It's the higher end of the two. Japanese made. It's from 1979, and I love it a bit. I don't play it that often because I currently have it tuned to a weird open tuning, which is like a C minor 9th 11th kind of thing. It's for a solid air by John Martin. That kind of thing. I have this guitar tuned like this because I'm doing music performance this year in college, and this is one of my showcase songs to show that I can actually play and have learned this song on guitar. And I might need another acoustic for the gig, so it's just handy to have this tuned to this. But it's also handy because then I can just grab off the wall and give it a practice. So things I would keep with this guitar. I've done mods to this. First of all, I've put a piezo on the bridge. This is a Ritual piezo. They're a really cheap piezo system. I think they retail for about €50 if I'm not mistaken. And it's a really good one for the price. I would highly recommend it. It's one thing I would keep in this guitar. The other thing I would keep is the bridge pickup. Not bridge pickup. The sound hole pickup. It's 60 quid. And the really nice bit about this is the pole pieces are adjustable, so I can actually change the output of the strings. It's really nice. Now I'll go to my other one. This is my Salvador Cortez classical guitar, and so this is my Salvador Cortez. It is a CS 650-CE. So is it 650 or 600? 650, grand. 600 would be the rosewood backing side, lads. 650 is the flame maple backing sides. I'm not sure how well you can see this in the viewfinder. I'm barely seeing any flame, but I can see a touch. But it's a lovely guitar. I love this. For ages I've been looking for a rosewood. Just to explain why I got this again, I'm a performance student this year, and I didn't have a classical guitar, and I thought I might need one in my arsenal for just doing some sounds. It turned out I used this most recently for writing the sea shanty song of. It was something along that lines, but we used it, and the classical actually, for a lead line, it was more mellower, and it actually worked to the need I needed it for, and it was perfect for the job. Next, I'll go to the Mason. So my Mason's been with me the longest out of my acoustic guitars. I got it for, I don't think it was this Christmas. I think it was the Christmas before. It's probably the longest serving guitar in my collection. No, damn, it actually is. Damn, my Telecaster. Anyway, so yeah, it's been with me the longest. They've stopped producing this one and they've moved on to a different one. which I think is the Vista it's called. It's basically the same spec. They just changed up the range slightly with the Masons this year. And I adore this guitar. Some of the specs is it's a mahogany back and sides, spruce top. It's a solid spruce top. I put a shadow pickup in it. I've done this thing that I wanted to get the John Gom thing in all my guitars, which is a sound hole pickup, piezo, transducer, or mic element. I haven't decided on the last one yet. Bone nut, bone saddle. The frets are kind of your vintage style small frets, but I like them on this. And headstock has a rosewood veneer on it. This was bought before CITES was a thing. Well, it's always been a thing, but before it got really extreme. Well, not extreme, but more stricter on woods for guitars. It's been lifted now, so yay. But this has a rosewood fingerboard. Other things that I really like about this guitar is the neck profile is kind of a soft, more pointy V, but it's not like, it kind of goes to a C on around the 10th. It kind of goes to a C around the 9th fret, which is really nice on the upper side, but on the chord side, it fills up the gap that's missing in your hand, and I really like that. Other thing I really like is the tuners. They're inlaid into the headstock, which is a really nice touch. So that's been this guitar. I bought this a few weeks back, and it's probably out of tune. Oh, it's actually not. Well, it might be, but it's not. It's not enough that you can tell. Yeah, that's out of tune actually. But it's not too bad. I've them ukes behind me be more out of tune than this. Anyway, this is my Barnes and Mullen. This is a BM UK 5T. These came into the shop and they came in new, and I've been waiting for a decent ukulele to come in that I've been like waiting for something, because I have three up there and I've got another one in the corner. I'm not sure if you can see in the pink bag there. But the problem with the ones behind me and the one in the pink bag is they're lower tier ukuleles, so they don't hold their tuning as well. And sound on them is a bit planky due to the construction, if that makes sense. Whereas this one, it's a bit planky, but it sounds much nicer. And the tenor works a bit better for me due to my size. It works a bit better for my size personally. And yeah, I just love it a bit. Work I have done for it. I replaced the bridge straight away, and I did have a video on that. Replaced it for a composite bone one, and I'm real happy with the results out of that. Bit more sustain and a bit more tone out of it. And yeah, it's just an all-around great uke. The other reason I bought it was because of the arm contour. I found for like ukuleles this size, I was kind of leaning my arm more on the contour instead of like my kind of there on the acoustic guitars, if that makes sense. So having the arm contour just benefits me more personally. And then other brands like Freshman, sorry, do have lovely ukuleles, but for me personally, the arm contour isn't as steep as that. That's a 45 degrees, and it just kind of smooths the edges a bit more, if that means, on the arm, instead of the Freshman, which is more like a 30 degrees bevel from the top. Looks lovely, but for me personally, this is a much better fit for the job for me personally. So now on to my electrics, and the first start off with the Golden. So the Golden's probably one of the newest accompaniments to my guitar collection. So story with this one is, I was on searching local guitar websites because I had a Ibanez AZ guitar, and I was like, oh, AZ, it's the best guitar I have and all this stuff when I first got it. And then after a while, I just didn't like the damn thing. It was, the neck profile was not Ibanez, it was more of an Epiphone U kind of profile. It had weird shoulders on the damn thing for the neck. I just didn't like it. And it just didn't suit me personally. Um, the pickups sounded a bit weird when you put them into the humbucker position. They sound very muddy, dark. I didn't like them. So I eventually got to the stage that I was like, oh, I'll throw new pickups in it, and then I'll like it. Then I'll realize I didn't like the neck profile, and I was like, oh, I'll recarve the neck. And then I finally came to the conclusion that like, if I do this, I'm never going to sell the damn thing. So I just said, feck it, sell it on, and see what I can get. Now I didn't have any luck selling it because it was such a weird guitar as it is. So I held off on selling it. I wanted to see could I trade something for it because I knew if I sold it, I'd lose money. Whereas with a trade, I could probably get a better deal out of it. Anyway, so I was doing around searching online guitar shops, and a place out in Dublin had a guitar for sale. It was a golden. It was this guitar, and I said, "Oh, I quite like a golden." I I've When I first started playing guitar, there was three guitars I loved. It was a Strat, a Les Paul, and I have both of them actually just there. And the golden was oddly enough the third one. For a while I didn't like Telecasters, but the goldens caught my eye more because of the flame, how well the flame top is, and also the controls. They really piqued my interest. Now I contacted Jimmy, and what happened was I sent him a Facebook message through the store. They never got back to me. That was because I sent it at like 6:30 at night, so they never saw it. They opened around 10 o'clock, I believe. If this is going back a few months now, I rang them at 10:01 to make sure that they got the message and would it be up for the trade. The trade was the Ibanez and Marcus Miller bass. Um, they were up for it. I went out. I got this. I got rid of the other two instruments, and I haven't looked back. This has been such a wonderful instrument to have in my collection, and yeah, it's from '97. This guitar is actually 3 weeks younger than I am. Um, yeah, it's really cool to have a guitar. I finally got a birthday guitar not too long into doing this kind of guitar trading to get something like this. So yeah, that's the golden. Next is the Telecaster behind me. So I featured this quite heavily on the channel before, I think. So this is my Telecaster. It is a Bullet Telecaster. It's not the most expensive guitar in the world. It's actually probably fairly affordable. They're like 170 now. These are a limited edition color in Lake Placid. And yeah, I love this guitar. Things I've done to it, refresh, because I put new dots in it. I put new side dots in it. Burnt the whole neck actually. Put gold toe tuners on it. Replaced the saddles for Fender saddles. It has a CRL switch in it, I believe. I bought this off my mate, and he originally had a push pull pot in it. I took that out. I didn't want the coil splitting functionality in it. I just wanted straight humbuckers in it. So it has volume tone. I've put the switch plate backwards because whenever I strum, I always knock the switch out of place on Telecasters. It has a screw-in jack. I don't know why that's not a standard feature on most Telecasters nowadays. Other things that have been done is the graphite nut and the pickups. So the pickups in this, I know the neck is a Firebird pickup. It's a bridge Firebird pickup that's rated for 15.7K or something like that. It's a ridiculously hot pickup, and it was the only small humbucker Duncan did that would compete with the bridge pickup, which is a little 59. Now, originally my friend had a quarter pounder in the neck. Now the problem with that is if you're gonna buy DC resistant, it's half the value. It's like 8K compared to 17K. It was actually less than half. No, roughly half actually. Anyway, when you go to the next pickup, you just lost it. You lost all volume. It was ridiculous. You got nothing. So I took that out, got a new pick guard, so I still have the original pick guard under the bed. Um, put new holes, and then cut the pick guard to take this pick up, put it all in, wired it, and it just works like a dream. It's also tuned to C standard. Yeah, I just really like this guitar, and I don't know if I've mentioned this in the video, but I did it as a tribute to my grandfather, who passed away years ago in 2006. Um, yeah, I did it as a tribute to him. I used a lot of his tools for putting it together, and I used this old weed burning torch. It was a handheld one, and torch as in like a flame, torch. I used that for burning the neck, and used like his wire brushes for doing getting the soot off. Um, I used a few of his other tools for doing jobs. So this is kind of a tribute to him. And the last thing I want to do, and I'm probably going to do soon enough actually. Oh, I could do that tonight. Um, Rothko Frost do decals. I want to get one that says my grandfather's name. I'm not going to say it out yet because I don't know. Because my grandfather had his name, what I used to call him, because I couldn't say J's at the time, so I called him PP. Um, and I want to see if I can. I want to see which way I want to take it. I might also get his signature, and I might put that on it. I really don't know which way to do it yet, and I really don't want to jump into it at this stage, being so close to being finished with it. Need to take a drink. My throat's getting caught up there. I'm gonna move on before I start choking up proper. Um, so next is the warm up build. This guitar, it's in standard tune. I have it strung with 9 to 46. I'll actually explain string gauges I use in a minute. Stuff on it. It's a Fender Standard Mexi neck from 2016. Last year, 17 actually. This was one of the crossover necks. Shallow tuners. It's the locking ones. It's the original nut. The synthetic bone nuts. It's a Goto 510 bridge. Nothing funky with the wiring. And just a basic kill switch there. That's not for doing any Tom Morello stuff. It's practically because P90's hum when you go through a lot of gain, and I like my gain sounds. So it's whenever I'm done with the guitar, I can literally flick the sound off. It works for me personally. The pickups in these are Murky Horizons by Allegory. Um, I've actually thought about this, and I might do it, but I'm not going to say yet. Because I actually quite like his pickups. So yeah, it's going to be a while before I say anything about this, but I'm thinking about something. Um, anyway, and that's this guitar. The why I call this the warm up one is because the body was part of the Peel and Play competition, and I need to thank Warmark because my channel grew exponentially from that video, and I have to say thank you to them. And every time I do a guitar, do something with this guitar, people always comment on the color of it, and I keep hating to say it, but I love the name of this because it's such a stupid name, being porno pink. Yeah, so that's my warm up build. This is my Mustang. Um, this is my Mustang. It is a Squire vintage modified Mustang. When the vintage modified was still a thing. And what I've done to it is relic the crap out of it. So I think I have a video series on the channel. Actually, I'll just check now, because I'm pretty sure I do. Oh, I do. When I first did this, I did. Anyway, so things I've done to this is I have new tuners on it. They are Goto. I put higher gauge strings on this. That was 13 to something, or no, it's 12 to 60. on this for drop C tuning. Yeah, I did that, and I did that for a while and it sounded cool, but it wasn't really the tuning for the guitar. Electronic sides of this, it is still Mustang wiring, all that kind of stuff. The pickups in this are Allegory as well, and these are a custom set of Allegories I asked them to wind for me. They are P90s in at single coil bobbin. I'm quite happy with the results of these pickups with just emailing Allegory a few times about them, and yeah, they're just exceptional pickups. Basic wiring, CTS pots, orange drops, capacitors in it, switchcraft switch, and all the parts have been oxidized except for the tuners, which are Goto tuners, as I mentioned. I have the original tuners under my bed. I wanted to use them, but the fact that they have plastic buttons on them meant that if I wanted to acid etch them, it would mean snipping the buttons and putting new buttons on afterwards, aging the buttons separate. It was a whole ordeal, and I just affected by Gotos, they'd be better anyway. So yeah, that's this guitar, and I really do like it. It's a nice guitar. Um, Next one, as far as electrics go, I won't do the Les Paul yet. I'll do Jimmy, this lad. So this is my Telecaster. Well, my Telecaster in standard, I should say. So this is the first Telecaster I built. I featured it on the channel in a previous incarnation when it was blue, and it's really different back then. Anyway, since then, some of the things I've done, and just the current iteration of this, it's an ash body, it weighs an absolute ton. You got your volume, tone, three-way switch. Again, I have to switch play backwards just because if I strum on this, I'll knock it out of place. It also has a push-pull pop for phase reversal in the middle position. Again, screw and jack. The neck on this is a really cheap neck, and it's from a guitar like from Argos or something like that. I burnt the neck, and the finish on it is quite nice. All that's on it is it's been sanded, not sanded, wire brushed lightly to get all the extra soot off, and then just oiled. I put new side dots in it. The side dots in this are brass now. Not sure how well that will pick up on camera. Black hardware and a brass nut as well. So it's double brass from end to end. I've been thinking of putting new frets in this. Well, not thinking, I'm putting new frets in it. I am yet to think of Evo frets or just standard frets. So that's this guitar, and it weighs absolute ton. I have two jokes with this guitar. The first one is the neck plate on this is an Epiphone neck plate, and I just like that on a T-type with Epiphone. It just kind of seems. I think I did this at the same time the Silver Sky came out, and I just had this lying around, and I was like, oh, it'd be rude not to. And then the other one that I really like is the little plate on the headstock here. And what that says is I can resist everything except temptation, which I kind of like for this guitar. So, 3 more guitars and then I'm done. I'm going to talk about the ukuleles real quick. At the end here, it's a Kerala that I got when I was very young. It's dirt, but I've kept it just in case I need a spare ukulele for something, photo shoots, or well, not photo shoots, but shoots, videos, other stuff like that. That is a ukulele kit that I got for a birthday one year from a friend. I put it together and I quite like it. It's a nice present. I love it. And the end one there, which is the red one, it's a Brunswick. Sorry, my mistake. And it's a B1S in red. The bridge came completely detached, and I did a really bad job putting it together, but it holds its place and it sounds decent for what it is. Now, for the last 3 guitars, which is my Les Paul. It hasn't changed anyway since last time I was on the channel, except for the Bigsby. So, weird thing I found out about this guitar is it's such a good replica of a single cut by the Big G, that that the Vibromat units fit it with the Bigsby. I have a Vibromat on this, so that's really useful to know. Other things. I'm gonna put a new nut on it in the new year. I've got shallers to put on it as well. The reason the shallers aren't on it yet is I've bought new pickups for this. I have new pots up there, and I have orange drops to go on this as well. So it's getting a full wiring set up in the new year. But the pickups I've ordered from this are Humitropics, I think they're. It's Allegory again, his PAF set with a modern twist, as he likes to say. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in it because my dream Les Paul tone is the Gary Moore. With Christmas just have happened, I had some money, and I didn't want to. I wanted to get the bare knuckle set, but they were €290. I said plus shipping. I said fuck that, and I wanted to get a new set of pickups for this, but I didn't want to spend €290 as anyone would. And I was trying to think of like trying to wrap in my head like, oh, what fucking pickups will I get for this? Trying to look around, and oddly enough, I was playing my pink guitar at the time, or the Mustang, one of them, and I was just doing the rounds, just playing stuff, and then it clicked with me. Oh, Allegory! I bet you he has a set of PAFs. Looked on his website, and Lord and behold, he has a set of PAFs. Ordered a set of them that would be reverse zebra, which I believe these are. I've ordered them, and I've also ordered another guitar for the last guitar I'll show, and I'll explain why in a bit. But yeah, so new tuners, new pickups, new wiring, and new switch, new caps, new jack, new everything going in this guitar. So yeah, and the reason I do that is I've said before, and I've mentioned to people as well. I don't keep guitars I don't mess around with. Like, I'll explain with the next one, actually. The next one is the Strat I've messed around with. This is my Strat. This is a 2016 Strat Mexican Standard. And yeah, work I've done to it is I've slightly lowered the nut, rounded the fret edges, haven't done anything to the tuners. Want to get new locking tuners for them, but I'm on the fence at the moment because the Fender tuners are perfectly fine. Pickups in it were a bit meh. I'm not really a fan of the ceramic pickups Fender had put out at the time. So I had Kimmins in a really cheap guitar. I took them straight out and put them in this. And I put the 7-way mod in it on the switch. The wiring is volume, bridge in neck tone and middle tone. That's just how I like my Strat wiring, because it means I can affect the in-between tones without darkening both pickups at the same time. That's just personally how I like my pickups. And these are Kinmans. They're decent pickups. I like them quite much. But yeah. Oh, also Wilkinson trim, because I like the idea of the compensation with the way it comes out of the block, so I'll put that in it as well. I've replaced this jack with Switchcraft, and yeah, that's this guitar. It's a great guitar, and I have the trem set up for a very light flutter, like just ever so slightly fluttering, and that's just me. I don't like dive bombing. I like the tuning to be rock steady. The only one that isn't like that is the Bigsby, and that's just because it's a Bigsby. So, on to the final guitar, my Jackson, which is in D standard with a high action. The reason for the high action is nothing, I just haven't gotten around to setting it up with how busy I've been in college and work and doing the YouTube stuff. And I've done other work for people's guitars setup wise, I just never got around to doing this one myself for my own thing. So, things I've done to this. Well, first of all, the concept with this guitar was a budget mod setup. By budget, I mean not throwing stupid parts into a guitar that makes no sense. So, tuners on this are locking tuners, but they're budget locking tuners. They hold tuning perfectly fine, and they're locking, so it saves time string changing. I personally like that. Trem I never changed because I never saw the point. Pots have been switched, capacitor has been switched, and the switch itself has not been switched due to the reason that it wouldn't fit into the guitar otherwise. I did buy a Oak Grigsby switch, it just never fitted. I changed the jack in it, I believe. The P90 in the neck is a tone rider. I changed that because I wanted the P90 humbucker guitar for a while. I was going to buy one, and then I said, feck it, I don't use the neck pickup in this. It sounded dirt as the original pickup. But the bridge pickup sounds decent. It sounds alright, but I think it can sound better. So what I've done is I've ordered a pickup off Allegory because I personally love his pickups. I would actually just use his pickups if I could. I might actually just install pickups and everything by Allegory. But I'll have to find the right ones for right guitarists, that kind of thing. Anyway, I've ordered a Firestorm for the bridge, which is his high output classic metal style pickup, and with blue bobbins, so the blue would suit this guitar. And yeah, it'll look interesting when it's all done. I was originally going to buy a jazz pickup, the Seymour Duncan jazz, for this, but it was the same. It was cheaper to get the Allegory, and I was also ordering them at the same time, so two birds, one stone kind of thing. And yeah, other things I've done to this, it being a budget guitar, I wanted to do budget mods, so I haven't replaced the nut on this. I'm not going to, but the nut has been filed down to get a low action playing wise on the first fret position kind of thing, because otherwise it was too high and it was playing out of tune. So I've done that, and everything else has been pretty much bog standard on the guitar. So yeah, that's my guitar collection for 2019 going into 2020. So actually going into 2020, that's my guitar collection. I don't intend on buying anything else. I actually have two guitars in the work. One is a fretless Strat that I have put my crash body to. This one. And then the other one, and the fretless is just for a thing of like, I want to dick around on the guitar, and that's the best one to do it with, because I don't want to buy another guitar to make fretless, and I had that lying around, and I had a spare neck lying around. So that did that. I also have a Les Paul Jr. build that I'm in the middle of doing. I don't want to show it yet, but I want to show it when it's done. Okay, I forgot to mention two things. Amps and pedals. And strings. So, real quick. Amp, I'm still using the Hughes and Kettner there. I still have my Jet City 2x12. It's serving me perfectly fine. You can see it there. I also got a Black Star HT1 mini combo. It's the 8-inch speaker, I believe, that's in it. And that's what I'm using amp wise. Pedal wise, I'm going to show you right now what I'm using. Oh, I also have a little Nux up there that I use from time to time for practice and just doing quick shot demos to clients about setups and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so pedal wise, this is my pedal board for the time being. I'm currently in the midst of ordering a new pedal board, but real quick, signal chain is going from pedal to compressor to octave, through to fuzz, through to blues driver, through green mile to solo, to Atlantic chorus, to polar, and to obscura, and then out to amp. I don't have these in the effect loops for the pure reason that if I'm speaking fast and I'm burping, I do apologize. I don't have these in the effect loops because in the performance course I'm doing, I'm not using my Hughes and Kettner. I'll be using it for some things, but not currently. So I need to build a pedal board that will go into any amp I use. I usually use a very clean sound and then model my pedals to a clean sound. I try and base my clean sound off a Fender clean. That's what I'm using in college, and that's what the Hughes and Kettner can kind of do on the clean channel. Not to the same effect as the Fender, but it'll get me there knowing that I can do it. I'm getting a new pedal board, but I am going to show you the pedals I currently have that are not on the board. And some people may like the pedals I don't have on the board. Some people may just love this setup as it is. And there's some pedals I'd rather use up there in conjunction with some of the stuff on the board. So I'll just show you what I mean. Okay? I've got in front of me 6 pedals, plus this. This is the power supply I'm currently using. There's another one on the pedal board. I got another one just in case I need it. It's the X5 power supply. It's 12 in DC into, what was it? 7 outs and one 18-volt out. It's a great power supply. I haven't come to any problems with it so far, so I have nothing bad to say about it. But pedals I have at the moment that I would like to have on the board, but I just haven't got space for because I've literally outgrown that pedal board. One is this. I just bought this quite recently. This is the Caverns by Keeley. It is such a nice pedal. And as I said before, some people may want to swap this for the Polarium Obscura, and some people may just prefer what I have on the board, but I have them set up for a specific thing. The reverb on that is set up to be a constant reverb of just a very small hall reverb that when I hit a note, it just kind of sustains out a bit. And the delay on that is more of a ping pong delay that I have it set up to. Or a dotted date. I can't remember exactly how I have it set up. I don't really use delay, but it's one of them effects I just like having on my board. This one I have set up to do a mark them, but it does that kind of thing, and that's what I have this set up for. I do a lot of that kind of stuff as clean guitar sound, and my clean sound is usually a pedal. It can be chorus, it can be something, but it's usually one pedal in front of an amp. That's my clean pedal for one specific sound I use. I love this pedal and I want it on my board. I'm getting a bigger board. That's one thing I will say. That board is way too small for me for what I currently have. I'm selling the board to a mate of mine, but currently that board's too small for me. So that's gone, and these are going onto a bigger board. So this is another pedal I have. This is a CH1 by Boss. It is a super chorus. It is a lovely chorus pedal. The only problem was, compared to the Atlantic chorus, I prefer the Atlantic chorus because that is a more extreme chorus, which means it sounds everything on about 10 o'clock on that pedal behind me. The Atlantic chorus sounds like this on full. So that one has more range to go, whereas this one is more of a subtle thing. I'd like to have this on it on my board as a second chorus, just to have the option of going in between without messing with pedals, if that would make sense. So this is going on my new board. Now, the Harley Benton American Sound. I got this for 15 euros and I never use it. I've done one video on it. It was fine. I don't see any problem with it. I just don't use it. Would I sell it? Probably. That's just because I never use it and someone else will get more use out of it than I would. And that's just the reason for not using it. It's kind of a preamp section. So, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just not my thing. My thing is a clean amp, like a Fender sound, which... Actually, now that I say that, this is kind of a Fender clean pedal with drive section built into it. Not my thing, but it's decent. It's like a 30 euro pedal. It is what it is kind of thing. The next pedal I got is a Fender tuner set level buffer. The idea with this is it lowers the impedance of your cable through all your pedals. And since my pedal board has shot up in the last year or so, I've needed this. I just haven't got on my pedal board at the moment. What this is, it lowers the impedance and makes this so you can add more high frequencies to it. So that way you don't lose the highs of your signal going through all the pedals and cables and the circuitry in the pedals. It's that kind of thing. Now, next one is the Rusty Fuzz. The Rusty Fuzz is just your generic fuzz pedal by TC. It is a 30 euro pedal. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's also not the best thing in the world. Yeah, it's a 30 euro fuzz pedal that I bought going back 2 years when I had a bit of money and I put an order through. It was either spend an extra 30 euros or pay 15 euro shipping, and I said, "Feck that, I might as well spend the extra 15 in the difference and get a pedal out of it." And I got this. I haven't used this since, and I should actually give it a whack. Because I've been slightly better at dialing in my pedal tones as of late. Because back when I got this, I just got a few pedals and I whacked this onto it. and it didn't do a job quite well, and I'm not sure it's that because I didn't turn it right and all that kind of stuff. The last pedal is the most recent pedal I've gotten, apart from the Caverns, which I just got last week or so, which is this. It's a Memory Boy analog delay. I got this for 20 quid. I got that for 20 quid, which I'm quite shocked at. I haven't used it that often. The depth I never use on this because I think it sounds very strange with as a chorus effect and vibrato. But yeah, I'll still use it as a delay pedal. I just haven't got space on my board to experiment with. And that's my pedals. I also have a Vox wah pedal. I can't remember the exact one. One of the first pedals I got with this. It's one of the first videos I did at the time anyway. And I also have a Nux amp and an Allure Orange practice amp. I prefer the Nux because it's actually much better. Sound card wise and audio interface wise, I've got two Aris 3.5 monitors. You can kind of see the edge of one just there. And sound card wise, it hasn't changed at all in the last 2 years. It is a Rubik's 22, sorry, by Roland. I still use this. It is a great sound card. It does the job perfectly. What I did buy in the meantime was a Audio Box i1 by PreSonus. The reason I bought that was to get Studio Live by PreSonus, because it's the same price as getting the sound card with the software than just getting the software. So it makes sense buying both. So yeah, that's all my stuff. So yeah, I've been Ryan for Ryan's Guitar Stuff, and see you next time. Bye.